Hey guys, Wolf of Dimensions coming back at you with a new video, this time doing my little review on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I went and saw it the other day, and I haven't made a review since because I've been thinking about what I wanted to talk about. I've been gathering my thoughts over this movie and opinions and stuff like that and seeing how it was doing, and I'm here with a video for it. Now, I will say there will be spoilers because a lot of the stuff I want to talk about goes in depth with certain plot points, stuff that you definitely want to see in the movie if you haven't seen it. So, here you go, spoilers. Spoiler warning, spoilers everywhere. Alright, now that everyone who's left has left, let's continue. Let's start out with the premise of honestly, so far, I'm finding this whole story interesting, the way it's going, because what they've decided to do is set up a trilogy that actually was all connected and fluid. If everyone remembers, the original trilogy was not really well connected. It kind of told it kind of told multiple stories through the viewpoints of characters we saw in the first movie. So almost like an anthology series that was barely connected to the original. And both the sequels had to do on a different island. They weren't even on the main island in the first movie, and that was kind of interesting in its own right. So I kind of like the way it's going. I like the idea that there is a connected story, and that everything there are repercussions to what they've done. In Jurassic Park, it didn't feel like there were any repercussions because technically there wasn't. I mean, there were legal suits and lawsuits, but all we saw was that, don't mess with them, don't go to the island. And now, the problem has come to us. It's come to us in a very real way that most of us can, feel in a modern sense. And that's what I think makes it unique as well. So, the story overall, the story is interesting, and it seems like what they're doing is that they're making almost like remakes of the first of the movies that they're portraying, but they're topping them. And if you don't know what I'm trying to say, or if you think it's ridiculous, in Jurassic Park, people were trying to make a park. John Hammond was trying to make a park to have dinosaurs as attractions. Jurassic World completed that and actually made it a park, a place where everyone came. But at the end of the day, both fell. And the main ending involved Rexy. And then for Fallen Kingdom, again, spoiler alert, cannot say that enough. In Fallen Kingdom, it follows Jurassic Park Lost World heavily. It reminds me just like it. And I think that's a good reason I like seeing Jeff Goldblum in his cameos, is because it really feels like Jurassic Park Lost World. It really does. The whole dinosaur hunting, the little dinosaurs, the green ones, I can't remember their name, those guys being back. I think honestly I think that nostalgia of Jurassic Park Lost World was really cool, even though it wasn't the greatest movie. I think it really helped the feel of the movie, and that's the other issue with it, is that its plot points are weird, because a good majority of the movie is about getting the dinosaurs off the island, which again, like Lost World, but it feels narrow. Like there's no other major plot points going on except the military stuff and the black market auctions and stuff. But with the main story, and even then that's related. The main story feels very one track mind. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Honestly, I think it was interesting and it was unique. And I still overall enjoyed it. So I just think it's going into a new direction, and that if you were looking for multiple plot points with very in-depth story progression, you want to wait till the end of the movie, and you shouldn't over do it. I did myself the favor of not looking up anything for this movie, any info, nothing. I wanted to be thoroughly surprised, thoroughly shocked. I wanted nothing to be spoiled. And I think that's a big reason why I'm now deciding to stay away from Star Wars stuff and Godzilla stuff, because I really don't want to be spoiled, guys. I'm tired of everyone arguing over what's going to happen and getting upset when it doesn't. And honestly, I'm tired of, being disappointed myself because of my own thoughts. So I'm going to try to, and I already give most movies a good light, but I'm going to try to stay out of too many spoiling stuff. It's just, it's getting to where I can't enjoy a movie. So I'm really glad I got a fresh perspective on this film, because it was good, it was enjoyable, and it really brought back the nostalgia with, in each time they do it, they include new music, and it's like you feel the essence of the original spirit of Jurassic Park in each song. And that's what I love. Now, the idea of genetics being a major key player still is really, I still love it, because it shows that, what level do humans stop, overdoing it. And sadly, we don't. We never learn. We never stop. But there's always progression. No matter what happens, it doesn't stop. So a lot of the themes from the originals are here. And I think that it balanced the idea of nature and chaos very good. Or better. A whole lot better than Jurassic Park 2 or 3 did. Now, the characters, of course, we have Chris Pratt, one of my favorite actors. He's back in his starring role, and Dallas Bryce Howard, she's back in her starring role. I kind of missed her niece and nephew. I kind of missed those guys. Or not niece and nephew, but nephews. I was thinking of something else. I kind of missed the nephews because honestly, I liked them, and it kind of feels empty without them. Maisie fills the hole a bit, but not enough. And the two other actors, sadly, get random screen time and only have a major place at the beginning of the story. And I think that's the biggest disappointment, is that these characters were not used enough because of how narrow-minded the movie was. So, it made me really want the old characters back, because they seem to really fit, and it was fun watching that. All those connections they made. So I'm hoping that we see them again, maybe even as a cameo. Now, things I really wished were in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I know a lot of people hate Jurassic Park 3, but I loved it growing up. I loved it. It wasn't the park, but it showed you the devastation of Isla Sorna. Even more so than Jurassic Park Lost World. It showed you the evolution of the raptors in nature, and it showed you some of the old facilities, which we saw a brief hint of in Lost World, but seeing the nesting factory in 3 was amazing. I loved Spinosaurus. I loved it. Most people hated the Spinosaurus. They hated that it killed the T-Rex, which, by the way, I have a cool little theory that the T-Rex he kills is the baby from Lost World, because we don't know their age, their age of growth. So that's just a theory of mine. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish he was in there. I wish that the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus, as crazy as it sound, would, like, Marvel hero team up and beat an Indominus. I think that would be amazing. And it would give more recognition to the Spinosaurus and let it be a character people love again. I would definitely not be against that. Another thing is Sam Neill, Alan Grant. I know, he didn't want to go near the park after what happened, but neither did Jeff Goldblum, and he still didn't. Sam Neill did too in Jurassic Park 3. Honestly, I want to see Alan Grant. I think he would be I think him and Chris Pratt together would be an awesome teaming. I think it'd make everyone happy. It'd just be amazing, and I can't believe I haven't heard anyone talking about, Sam Neill not doing anything. But I really wish he was in it. I think he could really make it work. His banter and his knowledge and how he treats situations, it was always wonderful to see. And I'd love to see him again. I think it'd just make the movie so much better. And maybe that's just nostalgia for me, but I found him way better than Jeff Goldblum's character. I found him way better. Rexy is always fun to see. Honestly, I think she lacked in the main character department this time too. It's like they always try to use her as a solution to a problem, but she's never a part of it. Also, anyone ever notice how Rexy always saves the main character cast without attacking them? I mean, yeah, she attacked them at the beginning when she first broke out, but the Velociraptor attack, the Indominus Rex attack, and when the Carnotaurus was after them. I think that was all interesting. I think the idea of intelligent velociraptors, that was amazing. The idea that Blue had human emotion, which means that because of Chris Pratt, because of Owen, a dinosaur was able to almost become human. And that is amazing in of itself. That is a great idea, because it means that we could have animals close to us, similar to us. And that's something really unique. I'm glad we're going to be looking forward to in the future of the series. So, this honestly, this movie was so fun. I mean, because it just took all the action from Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, Lost World, and just made it even more fun. And with more dinosaurs, we had Baryonyx. I love Baryonyx. I mean, that was close to the Spinosaurus, and I know people are going to say it, but it was not Spinosaurus. Baryonyx was a nice add, though. We did not see the Dilophosaurus. We heard them. Sadly, we never saw them. We saw the little ones that were killed the one guy in Jurassic Park Lost World. I still can't remember their name, and that sucks. And and they were in 3 too. It really sucks, because honestly, what I don't get is that Isla Sorna, Site B, had dinosaurs that Site A wasn't even working on. The Spinosaurus definitely had really, was such an aggressive dinosaur, in the movie at least, that I'm surprised that they even considered it for the park. It was like a serial killer, if you really get down to it. It would just appear out of nowhere, cell phone ringing, and I just think that, honestly, it's like they're ignoring Isla Sorna, and I wish they wouldn't. I really wish Isla Sorna was added back in, because there are so much more dinosaur specimens there that wasn't even on the original island. So I think that's some of the stuff that I think was missing, was just the sheer fact that we didn't have Sam Neill, Spinosaurus, or Isla Sorna. And, those are trivial things when you're talking about a movie that's trying to be a sequel to the original. That's not trying to avoid everything that happened before, but not pay attention to it. So those are just my own little nitpicks that don't really matter. And, now, what's my overall rating for this movie if I had to do it out of 10? I'd say about a 9. I think the story, how it works, is a little shallow. I don't think there are any extra plot points, but it does good with what it has. A lot of people complained on the internet saying it didn't go anywhere, it didn't do anything, it was too slow. Honestly, the pacing was fine. And it did do something. It did what no other Jurassic Park movie could do, or any other Jurassic Park director or writer would even dare to do. And this is the spoiler, brought them on land. They live, among us. And the fact that Maisie and Bryce Dallas Howard, I can't remember her name now, her actor, or the person she plays, the fact that they basically released the dinosaurs from getting killed, especially her, after another spoiler, being a clone, I think it was a real testament to show that if we, this kind of goes back to a game called Detroit Become Human. When we make stuff, we assume that it is under us, even if it has a soul, even if it has humanity, human nature. But that's not true. That's simply not true. We cannot ignore if something is as human as we are. So I think Maisie releasing the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs being free, and the dinosaurs being given, a personality almost, even especially with Blue and Rexy, I think, it's important that, they were released. I think that, the last dinosaurs on Earth for them needed to be saved. Would it be better if they did go to the park, the place they were set up for, so that they could live in peace? Yes. It would have been way better. But now we have no option. Welcome to Jurassic World, as Jeff Goldblum said. Now we have to live with dinosaurs. and there's no stopping it at this point. There's nothing we can do about it. And that's a very interesting way to take this. It's something I never expected to happen at the beginning of the movie. It was ridiculous. Some of the other things I noticed, a thing I loved was the reference to the original. When you saw the car flipped upside down, that was the car from the original. When it fell out of the tree, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, it's like when Jurassic World showed the original park. That was insane. When I saw that, I was like, this is great. This is perfect. Then seeing the Brachiosaurus the same way that we saw it in the first movie, that was beautiful too. It was amazing. It let you realize, I'm not going to lie, it brought a tear to my eyes just realizing just how far we've come and just how great of a scene that was. It was beautiful. It was magnificent. It truly was. And sadly, the fact that the Brachiosaurus didn't make it, watching that original dream and hope die, that hit hard. Because the Brachiosaurus was the first thing we saw. It was when we grew up seeing, that was the first dinosaur we saw on screen. And it hurt to see. It hurt to watch that spark of hope for something magnificent like Jurassic Park to work died out with Brachiosaurus. And that's the saddest part about all of it. Watching that dinosaur get left behind was like seeing our childhood go. It was like seeing, what was there, what it's going to end up turning into. It's going to end up turning into this big mess. And I think that you have the Brachiosaurus, the T-Rex, and the Velociraptor, and then on the other end you have the Indominus Rex and the Indo Raptor. In all honesty, you have the new and the old. The new being like what's new now. It's like, everything. It was upgraded. It was made better. But it's like, what do you need? You don't need something as fancy as the Indo Raptor or the Indominus Rex. It captured your wonder and your curiosity, but not as much as seeing that Brachiosaurus in the first movie. And it's like something you'll never forget. So watching that poor thing get left behind was like watching 3 movies worth of, or no, 4 if you count World, 4 movies worth of wonder and excitement of that place fall apart. And it really was horrible to watch. But I'm glad I got the experience, and I'm glad that they made that scene. I mean, a part of me wishes that they would have saved the Brachiosaurus. But I think it was such an emotional meaning for everything about the movie that I think it was needed to stay. Now, as we get to the closing point of this, I kind of want to talk about the Indo Raptor. Honestly, I didn't think it was nearly as good as the Indominus Rex. I think that it lacked in some divisions, but its maneuverability over its ability to cloak was amazing. Like, it was insane. It was like watching, it was like watching a horror movie villain, like watching, a killer go around and chase and get down people. And the fact that the dude managing all the money and stuff, ran this black market, tried to do all this irresponsibly, it was horrible to watch. It's like you're just sitting there, you're waiting for him to get it. You're waiting for his time to come. It's like you hate him, and then, seeing those dinosaurs sold like cattle, like rare animals today are, that was another real thing that hit me, was that happens in the real world. Maybe not dinosaurs, but that happens. And seeing that, I was like, that's ridiculous. Seeing those dinosaurs get carried off was horrible. And it made me hope for the future for those animals. It made me think, eventually they will escape and get out, and I hope they do. So for the closing thoughts, I mean, it's a brilliant movie. It's nostalgic. It's beautifully made. There are some lacking points in the story and characters, but besides that, it's fun. That's all that mattered to me, was that it was fun and it picked up in a good way where I think the story fits fine. I mean, dinosaurs coexisting with humans, that's going to be an interesting way to cap off the third film. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the next movie, guys. I mean, I can't stress how much I loved this series when I was a kid and how much I loved the idea. But things I want to see for the next film: Spinosaurus, Sam Neill, you know, some more blue. I don't think we'll get any more genetic monsters. I think now that, you know, dinosaurs have basically integrated into our world, I think that's what we'll be focusing on, which I think is a good thing. I think, honestly, the whole idea of the genetic monster was good when it was in a contained environment, but them just making any more, to me, would seem a little out of the way of the story. So I'm glad that we might not be focusing on the genetic side of it. And that's cool. I mean, as I said in the beginning, I loved that aspect, but now it's you know, now it's going to be a whole different thing. Sorry about that. But yeah, guys, I'm excited for the next film. I think this was a very brilliant film. I love it. I'm really hyped for the next one. I hope it's a little bit more higher in tone. I loved the darker tone of this one, and I hope it does have dark tones. But I really want a happy ending for the story. You know, even, you know, Blue finally going with Owen, everyone, Rexy. I kind of want it to be where all of them can all be happy in their own way. And Rexy's been around for so long, since the first movie. You know, I really can't wait. So yeah, guys, that was Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I know this was a long video, but I had a lot of thoughts about this movie. So you don't have to, you know, but thank you for anyone who watched through all of this, all of my ranting. It really means a lot. But I wanted my my opinion said on this. This is my review. It wasn't set up correctly or anything, but it was fun. So guys, Wolf of Dimension signing off.